All right, there for the few people that listen. I'm going to button this other top button, this upper button here, and I'm going to kind of relax. I always make the promise to myself that I'm not going to engage with leftists. And I always end up engaging with them. And that is a mistake primarily because really and truly they're not there to engage with you. They want you to comply. And if you do not comply, they're there to hurt you. On average, most of them. These are not people there for intellectual debate. These are people who think they know everything and really cannot see beyond their own nose. And this goes right or left, but this has become primarily on the left. The left just wants power. They do not want debate or intelligent debate of any kind, at least for the most part. And it's a very forceful philosophy. And there are even Stoics that I guess kind of believe in some of the leftist things that have been foisted upon America and upon the West. And it is kind of sad. It's kind of surprising how many people, reasonable people that you would think are reasonable, but when you get them talking about certain subjects, how unreasonable they are and how brainwashed they are. I'm looking at Candace Owens. And someone said Candace Owens is a homophobic white supremacist. And this was talking about, they were talking about Lori Lightfoot's refusal. Refusal to speak to white journalists. She's only going to speak to journalists of color. And you're looking at some of these responses here. And Juanita Joy, because they put a picture of, she's actually, I guess she's married to a white woman. And Juanita Joy says she likes a white woman. That doesn't mean she likes white people, even though they did vote for her. They did vote her in. And I don't know if she got the majority of the white vote. She certainly got the majority of the black vote. Yeah. So I'm just looking here, guys, and again, you're seeing hypocrisy. And, there are people who believe that racism is power plus, is prejudice plus power. That's their belief. And the first person I believe to make that statement was Stokely Carmichael. And it basically, I believe it has Marxist roots. And a lot of these things that on the racial and social justice avenue have Marxist roots, and it's something our nation fought against We fought two hot wars, both in Korea and in Vietnam, to stop that kind of ideology. And now it's basically come into our come into the mainstream, and it's taken a hold of the establishment. And so far, it's not that bad. I haven't had any personal confrontations. I have had confrontations online. People have threatened me and people have doxed me. I don't think I'm that popular to get anyone trying to do me harm, but there are unhinged lunatics out there who, if they don't like what you say, will try to do you harm, and that's kind of frightening. But I don't want to say I try to keep my head low, but for the most part, I try to find people who um, who think like me, and I have preference to live in a more conservative place, just because I just some of these leftists, some of what they say, it's like, is this the majority that think this way? And it's like, well, that's kind of unfortunate. Uh, of course, everyone's lived in a home, and their parents, parents have more control over your lives than any authoritarian dictator. But they take this kind of moral authoritarianism really to a high limit, and it's hypocrisy, and it's gaslighting, and gaslighting and hypocrisy are forms of abuse. And anyone that's a hypocrite is not really worth your time. People you shouldn't want to be around and try to avoid, because a person that is strong in their hypocrisy is not going to change their views, no matter how you phrase it, or that they're going to be reasonable. As Stefan Molyneux said, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, maybe I'll get back to that one saying. I might just end on that. Now, Joe doesn't agree with it, but I just wanted to get back to that saying. I'll end on this again. Sanity is not about confrontation. It's about filtering. Having a stable and happy life is about saying no to crazy people, not about inviting them in and then hoping that confrontations are going to make them sane. Yeah, you've got insane people who have crazy ideas, and you got to have that filter. I mean, crazy people, crazy, egotistical, narcissistical people want nice things, and sane people who are reasonable and rational build and have nice things. And of course, the unstable want to go to the stable. They don't want to be around unstable people. And hopefully, stable people can get together and just like banish the unstable. Like, just because you can't do it by yourself. And if people overlook the instability and rottenness of certain groups of people who come into a community and then act irrational and unreasonable, not good. There are plenty of other subjects I can get into that has become unreasonable and irrational. And again, I'll go further into that detail. But as of now, I did my Overcoming Procrastination show, and I just wanted to just continue the show. And I know it's not perfect, and like I said, perfection is the enemy of progress. And also trying to remain cool, and you don't get really anything from confrontation from an egotistical, narcissistical, and emotionally unstable person. You gain nothing. As a matter of fact, these people can hurt you. So the best thing you can do is probably stay away from them and try to flee them if you can. Sometimes you have to fight them, but for the most part, try to avoid them as best as you can. And you have your dollar, you have your currency. Try to spend your money with people who are reasonable and rational. Sometimes you don't have a choice but to spend your money with irrational and unreasonable people. Anyway, this has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like and subscribe and leave a comment down below if you wish. Thank you.